I've been receiving some requests for an update on my free-to-play account, Tribe, so let's dig into that. And welcome back to the Scribbles account. This is still my little baby account, not a dime spent, and we are about 2.5 months in terms of progress. Now, I did go on holiday to Rome for a week, and I did not play this account for the entire week. However, I have still made a little bit of progress towards my goals in this, and it's not going too badly. As you know, if you've watched any of my previous free-to-play episodes, I am on a course to try and unlock the Executor, and I've hit a couple of milestones. Number one, today I just finished off 7-starring my Bosk, and I took him straight up to gear 12. This is all of the gear that I could throw on him right about now, and he doesn't have any Zetas currently. I'm holding on to those Zetas just for a little bit right now, because I don't particularly care at this point about the performance of my squads necessarily. I really only care about trying to progress and excel within fleet, and that is taking a little bit of time to get up and rolling. So I do have all of the shards that I need for all of my bounty hunters, and they are all at least gear 12, which is really solid progress. I've got 2 relic characters currently, one being Boba Fett, sat here at relic 1. He was my second relic character, the other being Darth Vader. I took him, and he currently is at relic 2 for us at the moment. So quite happy with that progress. There really isn't a whole lot of fluff in my account at the moment. I've not worked on my Phoenix in a long time. They served their purpose. They were there to get me through that galactic war without fail, and they got me through the easy version of Conquest with no issues whatsoever. I will invest further in these once I've finished gearing up the core teams that I'm working on. As you can see down here, we do still have the Razor Crest requirements, or those for Beskar Armor Mando. They have progressed quite well, with some additional shards still needed for characters like Queel, IG-11, and of course, Cara Dune. Now, the Executor requirements in terms of Empire characters are nearly done as well. You'll see that my TIE Fighter pilot here only needs 5 more shards, so I'll have him done tomorrow. Of course, he still needs some gear, and Admiral Piet is lacking just a little bit, needing about 140 odd shards there or thereabouts. I don't think I've actually done my sims today for him. I have not yet, but I obviously do not have the energy. In terms of energy refreshes, in case you're wondering, I do 3 refreshes on regular energy, and I do 3 single shard node refreshes, and that's really on the ships. The ships is where I'm really focusing, okay? So the Slave 1 currently is part of my standard lineup. I am 10 shards short of getting this thing up to 7 stars. It's decent. It's got decent level of investment. Obviously, I could do some additional modding on Boba Fett, more relics, and it's missing some abilities. But right now, the key problem is, of course, trying to hold on to the actual fleet currency, because everything is so expensive, man, and I just do not have masses of income on that fleet credits. I try to use my Mark 1 Guild Raid tokens in order to get some additional fleet currency, but it does not turn up very often for me. I haven't seen it in 4 days, which has been very painful. Now, I've been doing a lot of work trying to get the Houndstooth up there. It is a phenomenal early game ship, so I always refresh this particular fleet once per day. It's currently 73 out of 85, so encroaching on that 6-star section is the Houndstooth. The Xanadu Blood and the IG-2K took me a lot longer to get to, and I've only just started refreshing these. So both of these ships get 1 refresh per day. I'm hoping that in a couple of days, when I get some of these ships sort of maxed out, oh, we can also see the TIE Advanced over here. I should probably favorite this one as well. The TIE Advanced is nearly at 7 stars as well, 77 out of 100. So when I'm hoping what will happen is when I get some of these ships up to 7 stars and 6 stars, and I've got a little bit more investment, especially with Bosk now going up to gear 12, is that I'll be able to go through on the hard nodes on fleet and be able to do these last 2. The reason why I want to do these last 2 nodes is this final node here, the 5F node, actually has the Punishing One. And everybody knows my opinion on the Punishing One. I hate it. It's a stupid, overpowered, broken ship, and I want it. I want it in my roster because it's really, really good. So, you know, I'm not stupid. I hate it because I think it's too good. That doesn't mean I'm not going to get it. That means I'm definitely going to get it. So hopefully I can unlock that. Now, it's not a requirement for the Executor. I know you're all aware that the Punishing One is not a requirement for the Executor in terms of, do you need this ship in order to unlock the Executor? No, you do not. However, it is a requirement in the sense of, if I don't do it, the fleet will not be anywhere near as powerful as it could be. So that's kind of the progress on this end of the things. I'm kind of working my way through it. Once I finish off the last bit of shard farming that I'm using for my Cantina energy, I'll be going full tilt into getting those relic materials. It's going to be tricky and it's going to take some time. It will take me time to get these ships done. Just one more thing on the ships then. I am of course trying to get the Razor Crest unlocked. 72 out of 145 right now. I am beholden to it appearing inside the fleet store for fleet credits. And I'm doing okay on fleet overall. I wouldn't say I'm doing phenomenally, but I'm sitting quite well within the top 50 of my fleet arena, able to get those 50 crystals per day from the fleet arena. So it's not, I know it's not a lot of crystals. I cannot break into the top 20. Everybody has got a lot more investment in their fleets than I do. Don't know if that partly to do with the fact that lightspeed bundles exist, or partly to do with the fact that maybe my fleet shard is a little bit older and they've had a little bit more time to invest in their fleets. Or maybe they just wail, I don't know. Either way, it doesn't really particularly bother me. I'm just trying to make sure that I get a little bit of investment back there. So that's where the primary focus is. Now, when it comes to characters, the last thing that I'm investing in down here, this is more of a long-term investment, is I'm getting all the shards for all my Geonosians. I've done all of them, apart from Geospy. I'm working on him now, and he needs another 180-ish shards before I've got him to 7 stars. Once I've got them all to 7 stars, everything is going to be going into the Cantina nodes to earn myself signal data, so that I can take characters like Darth Vader and Boba Fett up to those high relic levels that they need to be. I think Vader needs to be R7, Boba Fett needs to be R8 or something like that. It's been a while, guys. It's been a while. Bosk to R5, Cad Bane to R5, all of these guys to R5, essentially. That's what that's going to look like. After I've got all that signal data, obviously I'm going to be focusing on getting the gear levels for Piet and TIE Fighter Pilot also up to relic levels. Once they are all at least gear 12, that's when I'll start working on the Geonosians. I'm working on the Geonosians because I still need to unlock what? It's going to help my guild inside of the Darkside GOTB, essentially, and they're a decent early game squad that will double dip into their actual fleet requirements, giving me a secondary fleet. So I am actively working on getting the shards for the Geo ships as well, because they are actually pretty decent, and it will give me something to either play with on offense or on defense when I get around to it, and eventually they'll be able to slot in very well with the Malevolence fleet. So it's all sort of just trying to double dip and get multiple benefits. The rest of my roster is incredibly narrow. I do not have much investment at all. I did put a little bit of investment in Savage Opress. I took him to gear 11, I took him to level 85, and I threw his Omicron on him. I've not had a chance to use that yet because I've been away on holiday and I didn't sign up for GAC or anything, but I'm hopeful that it will give me something fun to play with in GAC. Most of my battles in GAC have just been, I've been dominated because I'm facing people with several millions worth of GP with me and my 600,000 right now, but it's been fun all the same. There have been GAC battles where I have won, and there have been some that I've actually won on efficiency by placing very weak teams on defense and just being more efficient than my opponent, which is surprising to say the least. Now, I am taking some of the opportunity with some of the currencies that we're getting in this game to try and prep for future legendaries. So for example, I've worked on getting Farm Boy Luke's shards, so he's all the way up there. I do have Palpatine at 6 stars, I've just not activated that 6 stars because I'm not going to invest in him just yet. We've got Obi-Wan, Old Ben over here, at 61 out of 85, so I've sort of slowly given them a little bit of shards so that when it comes round to eventually unlocking CLS, I'll be able to do that. I'll have the shard investment. You can see Princess Leia over there is also 179 out of 85, so she's very nearly done. And finally, you can also see that Stormtrooper Han has also got all of his shards. So I'm sort of just prepping a few things here and there. I'm also investing when I can. I'm investing in my fleet currency in picking up shards of General Grievous. He is available from the fleet store and he is a rare drop there. So if I see him there, I try to allocate some of my fleet currency to getting him slowly, because otherwise it's just going to be a nightmare down the line when I want to unlock the Malevolence, but I just don't have General Grievous unlocked. So I'm trying to slowly allocate that over time in the hopes that eventually I'll be able to unlock him. I also did put some investment, as you've seen, into my Duel of the Fates bros. They are able to clear tiers 1 and 2 without issue, and they're on sim now. Eventually I will go back and I'll take them all the way up to the Relic 7 area so that I can take advantage of that even further and actually start getting myself some high-level Relic mats. But that is a real long-term farm. At least for me, taking them to 5 stars lets me earn free shards of these guys every single month. And some decent credits as well. I get, I think it's 2 million per tier, so an extra 4 million credits every single month. That's really not so bad. So going forward, that's kind of the wrap, as it were. I've sort of invested where I want to. I've kept it very, very lean and very, very narrow to try and maximize the occasion of me being able to get up there. I am going to have some troubles with relic mats in particular. Things like carbonite circuit boards and bronzium wirings and electriums, all that sort of business is going to be difficult for me to get because it's not like I'm taking advantage of my position within the community and jumping into a massive guild. I've been true to my word here. I've stayed in the same guild that I first joined. I think we are at there we are, 93 million GP guild. Probably higher than I even should be, but I certainly am not jumping into like a 300, 400 mil GP guild, and believe me, I had offers. And I just didn't want to do it. I felt like it would defeat the purpose of me trying to figure out what the early game feels like now and what's a realistic timeline to get the ball rolling in a completely free-to-play account in this era of lightspeed bundles. So the People's Guild, they've been fantastic. I don't think we're full at the moment. If you are a purist free-to-play player, they are a complete free-to-play guild. So if you want to join them, crack on. You'll have me occasionally talking. Now we are attempting to do the Battle for Naboo raid for the very first time. I can't even score any points in it, so I just sort of sit here. But hey, I think it was just a test to see how we would do. Unsurprisingly, we weren't really able to do very much there. Maybe we'll be going back to using the speeder bike raid in the near future. And that is kind of it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I think I'm probably still at least 3 months out from getting the Executor. I'm going to need maybe 2 months before I get the shards for Piet, and probably a little bit longer on these guys here, like 112 shards. If I'm getting 3 shards a day, it's still going to take me quite a bit of time. Let's have a look. Yeah, about 37 days for the Houndstooth, and much, much longer for ships like Xanadu Blood and IG2K. So they really are a long tail end on this farm. Probably the longest is obviously going to be IG2K right now. He still needs a good, massive chunk. I'm not even sure how much that is. That's probably about 250 shards, I imagine. 250 shards. If I was getting about 3 a day, that's 83 days. So it's going to take me some time before I'll be able to unlock that fully. But that's going to about do it, ladies and gentlemen, for our update on the free-to-play account. Let me know how you guys are doing. If you are also running a free-to-play account, let me know in the comments section down below. And I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.